enough confidence in the things that I know. I have enough wisdom to see the logic will be shown. I got one chance to show you what I got. I got one chance to show I'm confident or not. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, and the fools are running away. It's not what you say, it's only what you can prove. You better watch your step, you better mind your P's and Q's. You got one chance, show me what you got. You got one chance to show you confident or not. Don't get caught in a matrix of all of these fakers. Society's spinning, and I'm just here living on the ground. Self-evident reason, deductions and conclusions, logically thinking, and the fools are running away. You're flipping over backwards to show me where you think you are. Your model dictates that you never see too far. Shrinking in the distance, you can do fuck all with an angle, and the fools are running away.
Should I post again what I posted? Because
Yeah, sure. I'll post the part. I'll post the part again.
it's got
where
a
it's
Z.
very
Exactly,
conceptually
JQ.
that the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional space that isn't flat.
The term flat in this context does not mean two-dimensional. It means Euclidean, a flat manifold, which is three-dimensional. Are you this daft? Exactly, JQ. Z equals 0, then it's flat. So he lives on a flat sphere.
Nope.
So he's actually a flat earther.
You just don't know what the
He's
surface
like,
of the
like
sphere
the
is.
real flat earther. I mean, like, at least the ones that they call flat earthers live in 3D reality, right? He's a literal flat earther.
Brian, hot mic.
I'm drilling.
We know.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Well, I can't listen to that fucking arsehole anymore.
Brian, are you drilling into the 3D surface?
Because you can't go up or down in elevation on a sphere. You're just not
Well,
on the surface.
three-dimensional.
Yeah, you're just not on the
Three-dimensional.
surface when you do it now, are you?
Do you have different circumferences when you change elevation?
Hey, Flatsoid, when you jump into the air, are you still on the surface of the Earth?
Do you change circumference when you change elevation?
I'm not answering the question. When you jump in the air, are you still on the surface of
Do
the Earth?
you
No,
change
you are
circumference?
not on the surface. You have jumped
There you go, then.
off
Yeah,
it.
There you go. Then elevation
Medoc?
isn't the surface, then, is it?
Have you ever dug a hole in the surface? Medoc?
Yeah, that's changing elevation, isn't it?
Elevation
Not on
is
the
a
surface.
measured change in the vertical on the Z-axis.
Yeah, exactly. And when you go up or down on it, you're not on the surface anymore. Thanks.
Yes, you are.
No,
If you
you're
go
not.
up a mountain, you
Yeah,
go
that's
up
saying
in
you
elevation,
jump in the air,
and
you're
you
on
are
the
still on the surface, aren't you?
When you
Mhm.
jump jump in the air. You just agreed you're not on the surface of the
Yeah,
earth.
that's altitude, isn't it? Not elevation.
Change in elevation, you moron.
No, it's
No,
a
that's
change in
altitude.
altitude, dickhead.
Do you understand the difference between altitude and elevation, dog?
Why don't you explain it?
Obviously not.
Go ahead. Go ahead and explain it. What's the difference
Obviously,
between-
this is one dumb shit that keeps coming into this chat.
How do we make it plain? Bev just explained it to you. If you are still touching the surface and you are changing elevation, like going up on a mountain, you have changed elevation on the actual surface. Thus, you have changed elevation. If you have left the surface and you have gone up, you have changed altitude. Hence why planes have altitude, not elevation, when you fly in an airplane. Find the difference? So yes, elevation is part of your surface, and thus you have just debunked your own claim that it's 2D.
Sorry, I'm back. I had to look up how wrong you were. So when you're on the surface,
Wow.
when you're on the surface of the Earth, yeah, you can have elevation and altitude. The only difference is whether you're measuring it from sea level. But since you're at the surface of the Earth, and we can assume that we're at 0 for sea level, then any change in elevation is a change in altitude.
You what?
What?
Who did you check that with? Come on. Who was the help? Who was the hired help that you had to go and check with?
I googled it. Really
I
quick.
get some new help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Elevation is the land, right? You have a change in elevation like a mountain. That's a change in elevation, right? Now,
It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an. It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an elevation.
the sea level's above sea level.
It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an elevation.
Come on. Nito, come on.
You're a bit.
It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an.
You're a bit
Where did they
confused. You
fucking
need to.
drag 'em up from?
My missus is laughing from the other room. You're in trouble, Niduk.
It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an. Am I? Am I?
Mhm.
Where do they drag you fucking wankers from?
Sorry.
Are you the fucking dregs or what?
Brian,
Yeah,
why
he's
why don't you go back to making
apparently the
You're
best.
talking
Apparently
like
the
a
best.
complete fucking moron.
Why don't you go back to making drones and flying?
This is comedy. This has to be comedy hour or something. No one can be this dumb.
Fucking ridiculous.
Unfortunately, I'm not one that thinks surfaces are three-dimensional. It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's an.
You're the only one that, well, you globe believers do.
Yeah, you mean 99% of the world? Yes.
2D surfaces are 2D, right? Of shapes like circles and squares. You know, they're triangles, 3 coplanar points, and all of that sort of stuff, right?
3 coplanar points.
That's 2D. But when you come to objects, I mean, particularly objects like the surface of a sphere, which is the surface of constant curvature from every point. That's 3D. It's obviously 3D. It's a bit of a special case.
It's not really. The object is 3D. The surface is still two-dimensional.
Because the surface of a
You're
sphere
flat
is like...
earther.
yeah.
You're a flat earther. Everybody point and laugh
Yeah.
at NeedsHug. NeedsHug the flat earther.
He's proud of
He's
it
a
too.
Two-dimensional earther. What a fucking twat you are.
Is that what I said? Because it's not.
Yes.
You are a
you
fucking
are saying-
twat.
All right,
Yeah, they-
domesticated.
Nedek, you understand the argument you're giving is that your sphere. Nedek, the problem is
what's the volume? What's the volume of the surface of the Earth? Go ahead and tell me.
you do understand that
This is just for domesticated primate. You can shut up. Like, go
Nedek,
edit 2 seconds out of more videos and let GP talk.
wow. Wow, Niduk, you do understand that just because your sphere is curving downwards, it changes elevation away from the
Go
observer.
edit some seconds out of.
Niduk, do you understand that just if you claim a sphere, the elevation changes from observer?
You don't have
The
to
observer.
NeedHug. The volume of the surface is nothing.
Okay, write out your equation for me in the chat.
If
Well,
you
what
had a
is the
bowl,
volume?
if you had half a sphere, turned it upside down and made a bowl, then you could technically use that inside sphere to hold a volume of liquid, like you do when you have your cornflakes in the morning. If you have cornflakes,
Write out your formula.
you might have Lucky Charms or something
If
like
he had
that.
half a
Niduk.
fucking brain, it'd help.
Do we have volume of gas pressure touching the surface of the floor?
Waiting for it, domesticated primate.
Do we have a volume of
Well, I
air
just said,
pressure
right?
touching the
I
surface?
just said it's nothing, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's nothing. So what do you think the volume of the surface of a sphere is then, NeedHug?
I think it's a nonsense statement because you can't have
Why did you ask a stupid question then?
Yeah.
What's the point of asking a stupid question?
It's only a stupid
And I
question
said nothing.
if you believe that
I
the
said
surface
nothing.
of
There
the
is
sphere
no volume to the surface.
perfect. Then you obviously agree it's two-dimensional then.
Nope.
Can you
It's only a
dig
nonsense-
into this? Can you dig into the surface of where you live?
Sure, but then you're not.
Oh, well, then it has volume, then, doesn't it?
The object has volume. The surface doesn't.
You dig into the surface.
Yeah, so you go below the surface. You're not on the surface anymore, then, are you?
Oh wow. You debunking yourself here, Niduk.
Well, so you are saying that the surface follows the contours.
No, if you follow the
Yes, you
contours,
are.
then it's a change
You
in
are
elevation.
saying the surface follows the contours.
No, the
Because if you
contours
dig
is a
down,
change in
if you
elevation.
dig down, you are no longer on the surface. So if I dig down at the bottom of a hill, I'm on the surface, and if I go to the top of the hill and dig down, I've followed the contours, but I'm still on the surface. That surface is three-dimensional. Thank you very much.
The surface that you're on, when you're on a hill or you're in a valley, are you at sea level?
Exactly.
You
Change the elevation.
fucking retard. You are so stupid.
Then answer the question if it's so easy.
He did answer it. Elevation change, aka three-dimensional.
If
How
you
down
change
can you be?
elevation- If you change elevation, you're not on the surface anymore, are you?
No, if you go to the top of a hill, you're still on the surface. You're still on the surface.
You're above sea level then, aren't you?
But you're still on the surface.
Yeah, but you're above sea level, aren't you?
Yeah,
stand on a-
yeah,
I can
you
stand
are
on a
still
rock.
on the surface. Well done.
I can stand on a rock.
Well
and I'll
done,
physically be on a
Nito.
rock on the surface, but I won't be at sea level.
No
And
shit,
we measure
Sherlock.
The surface. We measure the surface at sea level equals 0 now, don't we?
No shit, Sherlock. And now you measure the new surface at
when
top
you
of the hill.
stand on a hill and you're not at sea level, then you're obviously not at the surface. You're above the surface.
So you're floating
No,
in
you
the
are
air then
still.
above a hill.
Yeah, you're suddenly levitating then, are you?
You can be. You can be flying, sure.
So, what are you standing on if you're not standing on the surface, NeedHug?
You can
Please
stand
tell
on
me.
the surface.
Please tell me,
Jasmine.
what are you standing on at the top of the hill if you're not
Shut up.
standing on the surface?
Shut up, I'll tell you. Nope. No one says the surface doesn't have terrain. It does. It can go up and
Ah,
down.
three-dimensional. Well done. Thank you very much.
No one says the surface doesn't have topography that you can go up and down on.
Which
but
is three-dimensional, you fucking
How
retard.
about- It's like here in Florida, the sea level is above sea level, so it's How about you calm down, toddler, and let me finish?
Calm down,
But
toddler.
when you change up or down from sea level, you're no longer
Niduk,
at the surface. You are above it or below it.
You are on the
Niduk,
surface.
again, what is a cross section? What is a cross section, Niduk?
cross section's irrelevant to the fact that you guys don't understand what a sphere
No,
is.
it's not. He's explaining it to you in 3 dimensions.
Cross section is just a piece of an object.
Oh,
Cut
God.
what's the relevance?
This whole time you've been explaining 3 dimensionals and you're saying it's 2D. There's nothing more we can do
It's
for you.
hilarious.
There's
No
nothing
one
more we
The
can do for you,
The
Mother.
contradiction that comes out of this idiot's mouth is just unbelievable.
No one but you guys claims that the Earth we're on right now isn't a 3-dimensional object. The only claim I've made is that the surface.
Dude, we don't claim it's not a 3-dimensional object. We say it is.
That's fine. Then we're
Right,
in
so
agreement.
you're the one that says surfaces are 2D. Right, you're the one. Can you not see it?
Mainstream geometry and math says it. I just
Says
say
what? What
3D.
do they say?
No,
Like if I ask you right now, where are you located on the Earth? What coordinate system would you use to tell me?
We're in the UK. We use a grid coordinate system.
So if I asked you where you were located on the Earth, what would you tell me?
I'd say I'm in my back room, sat on the sofa.
I'd say don't be so fucking nosy.
Yeah. You're trying to dox me.
Yeah.
Would you use a latitude and longitude?
No, we use grid coordinate systems in the UK.
you know Cartesian coordinates, Niduk, you know what they base everything off of?
I know latitude
yeah.
and longitude, which you guys should know too. Do you know
Which
what
is based
latitude
off
and longitude
Cartesian.
is, Blackwood?
Which is based off a Cartesian.
No, we don't. We
Yeah.
use
Do
grid.
you know what latitude and longitude is?
Yeah, we use grids.
Yeah, I'm back.
You do? You know
Hello,
what
everybody.
latitude and longitude is?
Hey, dude, how's it going?
You alright, Rob?
I'm
We're
busy
just playing
laughing.
with NeedsHug at the moment.
He likes to
Yeah.
go. He's
Right,
going to
look,
go to his
right,
2-dimensional
close.
coordinate system in a minute. You watch.
Yeah.
Hey,
Rob,
NeedsHug, how you doing?
Rob, you want to hear a joke? Niduk,
Uh,
what
uh,
happens?
I-
What happens when you
Okay.
go up a? What happens when you go up a mountain and you're still on a surface? Is it still 2D?
It sounds like you're above sea level if you go up a mountain.
So that's elevated.
Yeah.
So you're elevated.
You can
So,
measure
but,
it.
but a two-dimensional surface doesn't include any elevations.
That's fine, but we do have topography now, don't we? But we still.
so
Go.
3-dimensional.
3D. Well done, NeedsHug. You're getting there. Slowly but surely, you're getting it.
So how many
Can I
mountains, how many mountains and ditches are there on the surface of a basketball? Or
We're not on a
smooth-
bed.
Mountains and ditches on a basketball.
Can we be an ant? Can we put an ant on a basketball? Go on.
It doesn't matter. If you're in
Go on.
basketball. It's
I'm
still
confused.
here,
Let me
whatever.
ask him a question because I'm not going to be here much longer. I want to clarify in my mind. When you go up that mountain, you agree that makes it elevation change, makes it 3D, correct?
Elevation change doesn't make it 3D. The fact that it's a 3D object makes it 3D.
Okay, is it a 3D object if it has mountains and valleys?
Yeah, so
Okay, so we live on a 3D object, right?
we do live on a 3D object. Good job, Rakia.
All right, cool. That's what I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
And
So then why the hell have we-
the surface of that 3D object has elevation changes, i.e. mountains, valleys.
Yeah,
Planes.
sure. But
Yeah,
If you measure it only in 2 dimensions. If you were to
You measure
if
elevation
you were going
changes
to
in 2
measure-
dimensions.
You're gonna measure.
God, you are one dim fuckhead.
He's a flat earther. Give him chat. See, don't insult them, please. I mean, we have to be.
Sorry. Flat
We
earthers,
don't want to be like the
treat-
Globers, do we? We
Yeah.
don't want to be
Sorry.
insulting. Like.
I must walk in the way of the beach.
Yeah.
Here you go. Brad. So
Yeah.
you're on that mountain. I want you to gift wrap it for me. How would you measure it?
Oh, we did this the other day. Gift wrapping
Yeah.
mountains.
You got fucking
Nice.
something there. So let's see.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
Whose present is it? Who's getting a mountain? Mhm.
Our Burundi gift wraps mountains to. Oh no, he
Yeah.
goes up to them with
How would
Does
how
does something with an angle.
How would you make
Bev
sure
should-
that you had the appropriate amount of gift wrapping paper to wrap that mountain?
Bev-
for me, DP?
I wouldn't want to gift wrap a mountain.
Oh man.
Bev,
Well,
Not
let's make it
ever.
smaller then. Let's make it something
Should-
smaller. Let's just
should
have
we
you gift
ask-
wrap a tiny pyramid. How would you
Should
you gift wrap a tiny pyramid for me?
Should we ask Niduk, has he ever done any surveying before, or does he understand
He
how it
won't
works?
have done any surveying. He
He
won't have
hasn't even
even
done any
looked at pictures.
thinking before.
Are you running away from my question, DP?
I don't give a shit about your question. It's nonsense.
It's a red herring.
It's a red herring, is it?
Yes. Okay, so have you ever tried to look at how surveying is done?
I'm not answering any more of your questions if you can't answer something as simple as how would you gift wrap a pyramid?
With
I would
paper and
chop it
sellotape.
off. Yeah.
Get some gift wrapping paper and wrap it.
And sellotape.
Yeah.
How would you
And
know?
Are you,
How
are you
Make
struggling?
ribbon.
Have you got to hand somebody some presents? You're struggling because it's a 3D, right? A pyramid is a 3-dimensional shape, isn't it?
It is three-dimensional. Good job. So how
Wow.
would you know
So
you
is that
gift
why
wrap
you're
wrapping
struggling
paper?
with it?
I'm not struggling with it. How would you know how much gift wrapping paper to use?
We're not gift wrapping fucking pyramids, dude. I mean, what a stupid tactic. Let's ask a stupid question and then say, "Oh, I'm not going to answer any more questions until you answer my question."
Stupid question.
Nobody's
Yeah.
wrapping mountains or
So the reason that you think
So
it's
Niduk,
stupid is
this-
because you don't
Niduk, this is
understand because you don't understand what
Niduk,
surface
Niduk.
area is. And surface
Niduk,
area
this is why I'm-
literally what we use when we
Yeah.
measure anything.
Niduk,
You
Niduk,
measure.
do you understand
shit,
this is-
you know.
sorry, Niduk, do you know this is why I'm asking about surveying? Because this would
I don't care.
answer you.
I don't care what you think about survey.
How do you think they get the elevation? How do you think they get the width, the breadth, and the height?
I don't care. You can't answer something as simple as
Um,
how
you would
how
need
gift wrap a pyramid.
you would need to survey it first to get the dimensions before you can gift wrap it. You do know that, correct?
So does anyone else want to try, or are you all just gonna flunk second grade math?
We're waiting for you.
Niduk, did you answer my question?
I told you I'm not answering your question until you can tell me how you gift wrap a pyramid.
This is answering your question. This is answering your question.
What formula
To
would
get
you
the
use?
to get the dimensions, so we can know how much gift wrapping we need, you would first need to do what? You need to
Sure,
measure
you-
the length,
you've
breadth,
surveyed it.
and width.
You've surveyed it. Now, what formula would you use?
I'm asking you.
Formula for
Would you
gift
need-
wrapping.
Yeah.
Would you?
Here.
Wow. The missus isn't going to enjoy this Christmas. I didn't.
This is where we've
gift
come,
wrapping.
right?
Yeah.
This is full circle from them being in total control of the argument to I'm not going to answer your question unless you give me the formula for gift wrapping a pyramid.
Gift wrapping a mountain. The mountain's much better present than a pyramid.
I hope this is recorded.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
measures compared to the
guys,
mountain.
This is
I
too
come
much
from-
for you. So here you go.
I come
You're
I come from
you're
South
playing, right?
Sorry,
No, I understand you can insult.
Guys, I come from South
understand
Africa.
that's all
I
you
don't-
have, but
You
You
shut
got
up.
to admit that's kind of ridiculous, right?
It's not.
Just
I come
reverse
from
it.
Let's say you're
I
a
come-
farmer and you're laying
I-
crops and you're laying out. You need to know how much seed to buy. So you need to know
Wow.
the square footage of the land that you're going to be seeding. How would you
so
figure that out?
surveying. You'd survey it.
Now you'd survey your land, so you get the square footage of your land, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You
Using
get slope
using
angles.
trigonometry. Using
Mhm.
triangles
And slope angles.
You'd
with
come up a square
180
footage.
degrees.
And then you would purchase based off of the square footage of your land. And it doesn't matter if your land's in a mountain or in a valley, the square footage would be what you'd go off of. Now, isn't it?
Do you know what a slope is, Niduk?
plants that grow upward or
Answer my question. Would you
It's brilliant.
This is how you get fucking laughed at. all
This
day
has got to be the funniest one so far.
How'd that guy say it? Hey, listen up. Listen up. Isn't that what that guy said? This is not the same person. Huh?
Yeah.
Listen up. Listen up. We're laughing at you.
Oh dear.
monkeys laugh at things they don't understand. It's okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Rocky.
good one.
How about you answer the question? Then? if you're
How
you're
about
land
I
seed.
don't care. I wouldn't answer your smug ass question if you paid me $1 million. How about that? I think you're smug, bro. I think you know it all, and we're laughing at
I
we're
100%
laughing at you
know.
openly.
That's fine. It's okay.
Go and
Children
tell
don't-
your
they don't
fucking
need-
paymaster that this truth is coming out.
No, look, this is what I tried to ask Tommy before he kind of rage quitted. What's a slope?
It's a slope like in math. It's an equation.
Like a slide.
Like in rapid present. How do you, like in rapid present? People like that. What's the slope in rapid present?
Slope is a
You
function of
smug ass.
wow. I could answer it if you'd stop being a hyena. Slope is a function of x. What of it?
A what?
So three-dimensional.
Wouldn't it be on the Z?
You need three-dimensional.
Wouldn't it be a function of Z in reality, like? Or are you just talking about on a graph?
They don't work in reality, Bev, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, sorry, he only works on 2D, doesn't he?
How about you
I
do
forgot,
specific
sorry, yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm
Carry
talking
on.
about
A
slopes
function
on
of
graph.
X, yeah, carry on.
Carry on, go on.
I'm waiting for the point. What of it?
Would
Is
the
that
slope
it?
be a gradient? Would it be a gradient line on a surface?
Would it be a gradient line? Yeah, sure.
Yes. So it'll be a vertical change to the horizontal.
Sure.
Thank you. Three-dimensional.
Three-dimensional. If you're measuring height in respect to length, then that's still 2 dimensions.
You think you don't have breadth while you're measuring this?
You didn't
Is a
include
field
it
as
in
a
your, you
as
didn't
a
include
as,
it in your equation, then did you? So no, it's not a part of the equation. No one can include it
you think a slope does not have any breadth?
on a graph.
Please show me.
On a graph,
show-
it does not. On
please
a,
show
on a
me-
graph, you have an
please
x
show-
and a y.
Please show me any slope that has no breadth. This has to be good.
I will show you a simple line graph that has an x and a y axis, and x-axis can be length.
I'm not talking about a
and
graph.
can be
I'm talking
altitude,
about an
and you
actual
can have a
slope.
simple slope.
I'm talking
We're
about
talking about
surveying.
real world.
We're talking about reality, yeah, not a mathematical deduction that you think you live on.
You
We
just have to
literally-
have a slope. If you wanted
We're
to
talking
be
about
specific,
surveying.
you need specific.
Look, we're talking about
Work in
surveying.
reality.
So you're talking about surveying, and what of it?
When you look through a theodolite, do you see in 3 dimensions?
You always see in 3 dimensions.
So we live on a 3D surface then, because we
live-
measure the
we live
3D
on a-
surface.
Repeat after me, idiot. We live on a 3D object. It has a 2D surface.
Dude,
But
I'd
it
lay
doesn't
off
have a
the
2D
atoms
surface,
as well,
you
please.
retard.
You measure the surface using surface area, which is a 2-dimensional measurement.
But doesn't account for elevation. You're retarded.
Because you don't
okay.
measure surface area with elevation, retard.
Naduk, if I hold a donut in my hand, it's a 3D object.
Why don't you cite a reference that says that you measure surface area using length, breadth, and height? You can't,
Naduk,
because it's not a part of the equation. So you
Naduk,
guys arguing about it doesn't matter.
Naduk, if I hold a donut in my hand, it's a 3D object, correct? Is that surface still 2D? Is that surface 2D?
Yes, all objects have dimensionality, and all surfaces, which is just the furthermost point of it, the bounding area, is measured 2 dimensions.
Now, if I take a bite out of it, is it still 2-dimensional surface?
Yeah, it's a 2-dimensional surface with a bite in it.
Sorry, I can't. I've been trying really hard with this guy.
Crazy. Like you can't get away from it. If you measure any surface, you use length times width.
Measure a surface elevation change means 3-dimensional. You've changed elevation. Any elevation change makes it 3-dimensional, Naduk.
Object is 3-dimensional. No one has issues with that.
If you live on a three-dimensional object, it is three-dimensional. It does not go automatically back to two-dimensional because you have a mathematical.
It is 3 dimensions. Yes, very
Cool.
good.
Where do you go on Earth to get to where it's two-dimensional?
Again, it's just the surface. The surface of any.
Where's the surface? When you come down off of that mountain, where's the surface?
Are you above sea level when you're on that mountain?
I'm asking you. You tell me. Is it below sea level, at sea level, above sea level?
No, man, you guys are giving this guy too much credit, man. This guy isn't even worth talking to.
Rob,
This
we're,
is
we're laughing.
Is it
ridiculous.
He's a flat earther. Don't laugh
Let
at
him
him.
speak.
Ridiculous.
Again, the question is very simple. Let me repeat it because it kind of got drowned out there. When you come down off of that mountain, where is the surface at? What elevation?
If you're coming down off of a mountain, then and you are in fact at an increased elevation, which isn't always the case, but is usually the case. If you're coming down, then you're measuring an elevation above sea level. When your elevation equals 0, then you are at the generally accepted surface of the Earth.
No, the
And that's
mean
where it's
sea
2D
level.
That is where the measurements for the surface of the Earth start.
And that's where you call
He cares.
that's where it's 2D.
Hey, Brian Madison. Hey,
That
Brian.
is where our measurements.
Sorry, I'm gonna use
Yo,
you.
mama.
So is mean sea level 2D, your 2D surface?
is
Yeah.
a measurement point.
So it's nothing. It's just mathematics, right? It's just a point to locate something
Very
on a
good.
3D object.
It is very big, so yes, it is mathematics.
No, how big something is doesn't make it 3D or 2D. You
Measuring
surely
it-
agree with that, right?
Measuring it, however, does.
How you measure something, right? You can do it 9 million different ways. You can actually turn it into a 2D object and plot points on it. Doesn't make it 2D. Now, does it?
We're not trying to change.
Hang on.
the-
Let's not move from there. Will you answer that question?
I said-
I mean, I'm
I
fine
said
with you saying yes,
words.
it does.
I said
Yeah, but
two
you weren't
words.
answering. The answer is yes. It never will be
Whoa,
2D.
whoa, hang on then, Mr. Leading Questions. How about you? When you say the
Okay,
surface
repeat
doesn't
my
change,
question. Fair enough. I'll let you answer, but repeat my question.
You want to know if the elevation change on the surface means you're no longer on the surface. And I am answering that.
Was that my
On
question?
On any object. You can have
That
a
wasn't
balloon.
my question.
No,
That's
look,
why I
you're
said
wrong.
you're obfuscating. You're not answering my question.
Then re-ask your question, Nakia.
Yeah, I think everyone sees what you've done. I think everyone has seen, right, that you're just trying to use.
Ask your question again, and I'll answer it.
Yeah, I kind of overstepped my bounds here. I said I wasn't going to talk to you. So.
Yeah. Rakia?
Run away, Rakia. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, I'm running
Rakia,
away.
Rakia and Neduk
Good
is.
question, apparently.
That's just
Rakia
a troll
Neduk-
tactic, though. You expose yourself
Yeah.
every time you see it.
NeedsHugs has exposed himself. I agree with you, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
He's not genuine. Not a genuine
Do
person.
you want to go flat,
No,
sorry?
look.
Because I want to have a go. Go on.
Exposed
Okay,
or not,
okay, quick.
surface areas are measured.
Neduk, can I quickly read you something? In the Oxford English Dictionary, a mountain is defined as a natural elevation of the Earth's surface, rising more or less abruptly from the surrounding level and attaining an altitude which relatively to adjacent elevation. So, going up a mountain is still the surface of Earth. You change elevation. Thus, it is 3D.
Which is 3D, yeah.
The
Mhm.
Earth is 3D. Good job.
Surface 3D.
Nope, the Earth is 3D. Good job.
Elevation of the Earth's surface rising.
Yep, the
That's
surface
three-
can rise and fall
surface.
because it is the bounding
Surface
layer of
rise.
the Earth, which is three-dimensional. But you only measure the surface using 2 dimensions, which is surface area. You can't get away from it.
Okay, Bev, you can go. This guy's
Yeah.
totally dishonest.
You said about the mean sea level, Nidog, right? I've put in the live chat if you want to have a quick look at that.
That's just how math works.
Because it's a lot easier to explain with the UK. We're only a little island, and like we say, we have a grid reference system for the maps. They all fit together on this grid, square grid, and then
It's
and
fine,
then
but you can't
we
get away
have
from the map.
we have a mean sea level, right? And it's there. It's in that picture there. It's just a brass bolt down at Newlyn. After they sorted out the, they looked at it. There you go. It was made for 6 years. They made observations 24 hours a day, every 15 minutes for 6 years. And then they found a mean. You know how to work out that, mathematically work out the mean. Just divide it by however many results you've got and you find like an average. And then they put a brass bolt. They put a brass bolt on the floor. And then that is the datum for the entirety of the UK. That one brass bolt. So whenever you are 2 foot above mean sea level in the UK, you are 2 foot above that brass bolt. Vertical change.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, where would you want to go? Is that what you were talking about, Kevin?
Let me just ask him. Does he think you're lying? Do you think it's just a story?
I'm sure someone somewhere set mean sea level somehow, and that sounds just as plausible as anything.
Okay, so you can agree with that datum.
Said it sounds plausible.
Cool. So that we have that to set as our mean sea level in the entirety of the UK, and then everything else is on a grid, square grid system.
Okay.
Yep. It's impossible on the surface of a ball, that, isn't it? It's only a little island, though. I mean, we might be special. Who knows?
Again, you can't do any surface measurements without using the two-dimensional formula surface area. You just can't escape it. So I don't know why you guys argue it.
Well, we just have an elevation change. It's just a vertical elevation change. Yeah.
Okay.
Elevation. And then everything else is on a square grid. So all distances are measured horizontal, because that's the shortest distance, and then triangulation is all done from that. And then if you want to work out elevation, you just change in the vertical. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not 3D. Well, it is 3D. It's not 2D. That's the point. Because I found it really strange when I came into this, saying that the horizon doesn't rise to eye level because levels don't rise. They might appear to, but I mean, there's no way they can, because water doesn't do that. It doesn't hump, doesn't lift up, doesn't ramp up in front of you.
Not physically.
No.
It's still, you still can't get away from the fact that surface area is what we measure.
We know the mathematical concept of an area measurement, yes.
Cool. Then you understand that it's a two-dimensional measure.
Newton did it, didn't he? When he says pressure is, do you know that one? What Newton said with science and all of that. You any good at that? Pressure is
P equals mass over volume.
That's for the gas, isn't it? The pressure of the...
Pressure is force over
Pressure,
area.
yeah.
Force over area. See, he's
Force
got it
over
there,
area,
yeah.
You should probably know that stuff before you speak.
Well, I asked you. Yeah. I already know what it was, but yeah.
Your buddy didn't know.
No, he was talking about the liquid state, wasn't he?
Yeah. So again, if you know formulas so well, you should know that we don't measure the surface of any object using volume, and that's a three-dimensional measurement.
Yeah. But areas are two-dimensional.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks for finally agreeing with my point.
But Nadak, you understand that two-dimensional math construct is just descriptive based, not reality. They're describing a surface because
If it wasn't reality based, then it wouldn't
surf-
transfer over to reality.
listen.
so easily.
how are you going to work out a volume if you only have the outer skin of something?
Going to work out the volume if I only have the outer skin of something. So if I use math to determine the volume, of a cube, and then I assemble that exact same cube, I know exactly what the volume it contains is because the math agrees with reality.
So then we can all deduce that surface area.
Flatsoid, you shouldn't have let him conflate a cube with a sphere, though.
It's
Sorry,
fine, he is a
Flatsoid.
flat earther. He is a flat earther,
Yeah, you had
so
to go to
it's fine.
2D shapes, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The formula you use
But
means
Neduk,
whether
but
it's a
Neduk,
sphere or a cube.
but Neduk, what comes first? Neduk, what comes first? The mathematical construct or the reality that they're trying to use to explain?
I don't see the relevance.
Okay, if you stand here, you're looking at the surface area of the floor in reality. What comes first? Did the maths make that reality, or are you trying to use the maths to describe what you're seeing in reality?
Obviously, math is describing what I see.
Thank you. In reality, that surface is three-dimensional.
In
Now,
reality, that
you can
surface is
listen,
two-dimensional because you use a
listen,
two-dimensional
listen,
measurement in order to find the surface
listen,
area, proving my
listen.
point yet again.
listen.
If it was three-dimensional,
Ah,
if it was three-dimensional, you'd have to add depth and find the volume, but you don't.
in,
So it's not.
in reality, that whole surface is part of a full volume. Do you understand?
It is. That's what 3D objects are. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
but
all just
3D
heard that.
objects
He
are
just
different from the
conceded.
surface.
Yeah.
He just conceded.
He doesn't realise though,
three-dimensional.
Flatsoid. He's done it about 8 times already.
Three-dimensional objects should somehow have the exact same as the surface of a three-dimensional object, and you would be wrong.
NeedsHug, does the surface of Earth only exist at sea level?
It's just a measurement.
No, it doesn't only exist. So the surface extends above sea level
Yeah, and below it. Good job.
This is, well,
in 3 dimensions.
we go back to where we were, right, at the
Measuring
beginning.
elevation.
Because I think I've sussed out what NeedsHugs trying to do. Because at the beginning I was saying that, spot on, when we originally came into this, we said that the only place that you could find this supposed curvature that is meant to be is on the surface of the water. Now, as we all know, what they need it to be is curved. But NeedsHug, being the clever guy that he is, he's preempting the position of becoming a two-dimensional flat earther. So therefore he will find a horizontal plane 2D surface and then be able to say that is the two-dimensional surface that I'm exactly looking for. You can tell with the rumpus bit, you got triggered.
Hey, here you go. Hey, Bev, is a Mobius strip two-dimensional?
If you, once you flipped it, or you mean like as a developable surface?
I just want to know if it's two-dimensional.
As a developable surface? Is that what you're
I
asking?
want to know if it's two-dimensional.
Yes, as a developable surface, yes. A Mobius strip is able to be produced onto a two-dimensional surface without any distortion. Yes, it's fine.
Can you say the same for the surface of a sphere?
That's not what defines a two-dimensional surface.
Can you say the same for the surface of a sphere, NeedsHug?
No, because the surface of a
No,
sphere is
exactly. It's non-developable.
Yeah,
Well
that's-
done.
Everyone knows that because it's a sphere.
Well done.
Everyone knows that.
So it can't be represented as 2D.
Sure it
Don't
can.
you get tired? No, don't you get
Without
tired of being
distortion.
wrong?
Of course you would distort it. That's why it's a sphere, and spheres have special rules called spherical geometry.
Wow.
Please tell me you got that, Bev.
Yeah,
You
oh,
got
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Neda.
But it's true.
Yeah, special. It's got special.
Special needs, just like NeedsHugs.
Special needs. Yeah, yeah.
Point out where I was incorrect when I said that. What part was incorrect?
No, you
The
were
point is
you were
that-
perfectly correct when you said that you've got special needs with your geometry.
Special needs Earth. Yeah, wait, now we can make a new meme. Special needs Earth.
Again, the fact that you agree a Mobius strip is two-dimensional blows your hole. It must be flat out of the water.
I said developable. Did you not?
developable.
Did you not hear me?
It's two-dimensional.
Did you not hear me?
It's not the definition of two-dimensional. Though.
Like a
Do you know
surface
what
of
developable is?
a cylinder. Is that two-dimensional?
It has the surface, which is two-dimensional.
It's developable, isn't it?
It's irrelevant to it being two-dimensional.
No, that's the mathematical term for a surface that can be produced on a two-dimensional surface is called a developable surface.
Yes, a surface that can be one-to-one reproduced on a flat surface is a developable, which is why spheres are non-developable. You have to project them. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
From the fact that
Why
it is
do
not
you
a
want them
requirement
to
for
be
2D?
2D then? Like, aren't you contradicting yourself right there in saying that it's non-developable?
No, because it
But you're saying that everything is 2D. Every surface is.
Repeat after me, Ben. Developable is not a requirement.
It sounds like there's a bit of a difference, isn't there, between certain surfaces and certain other surfaces pertaining to two-dimensional requirements. Is there? Do different shapes have different developable or non-developable surfaces pertaining to the two-dimensionality of the surface being produced?
Sure, but it's not a requirement.
So there is a difference then in between.
Sure, but it's not
2D.
a requirement.
So what's the difference between the different two-dimensional surfaces?
It's irrelevant. It's not a requirement.
It's not irrelevant, is it? Because that's what we're talking about.
Nope, that's what you're obfuscating about. I am clearly stating.
You think I'm obfuscating?
Yes, a two-dimensional surface does not have to be developable.
Well, I'd say the one that is not developable is a three-dimensional surface. Right? That's the reason it's not developable.
That's your misunderstanding, then. That's not what math and that's not what reality comports with.
Okay. When you say math, do you mean like logic, or do you just mean the number? Do you mean just the number thing?
Yeah, the number thing that comports with reality.
Yeah, not the logic thing that comports with actual reality.
When you have logic, you have to have statements that are based on reality. And unfortunately, when you claim that two-dimensional surfaces have to be developable, that is not a true statement. Therefore, making a logical argument based off of that non-true
Gauss?
statement is irrelevant.
Have you not heard about Gauss's work? He was a good thinker, wasn't he? Gauss.
So are you done being schooled in math now, Bev?
You think? No. It would be the answer on that, please.
Yeah, let's have some more.
Please tell us some more, Master Sensei. Off you go.
Is that what you think you're doing here? Educating Bev? Is that what you think you're doing here?
No,
You're fucked, bro.
Education.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you, man.
We've been laughing at you non-stop for the
You
last
honestly
hour.
believe you've come here to teach us something?
I just explained.
He's trying to get you all to be flat earthers. You want to watch him?
You understanding it is not my problem. You want to learn.
Do you honestly believe you've come here to teach us?
No, Matt, but I know for a fact.
Wow.
Is that what you're here for?
Matt, I just very clearly stated I know for a fact you're.
That is fucked.
This guy is insane.
You
Or
are
delusional.
off your fucking rocker.
Alright, shut up, Brian. I'm
You
pretty
are
sure
completely off your fucking rocker.
I'm pretty sure you know of this Flatzoid, which is why you can, like, edit reality and try to make videos.
Don't you listen?
Oh, wow.
Do you not listen to what people say to you?
So that's Flatzoid and Brian.
You
DP's a
Wow.
troll, so he can't
So-
answer.
so- So all he's got now is tell everybody
I know
how they
about
are.
Rob looks like a cheerleader to me.
Don't know who you're talking to. Have you got somebody
You-
listening in the background?
You
Probably.
are not here to teach us fuck all.
Yes, I know, Brian.
Yeah.
Understand that?
Now look, to be honest, I definitely don't want someone with your intelligence to try to teach me what's going on with reality. Thank you very much.
That's perfectly.
Same
I
here.
swear, my 5-year-old daughter has more intelligence than you with this argument we've just had.
Then ask her how you find out the surface of an object and see what she.
She would tell you it's 3-dimensional, just like everybody in reality.
Yeah, everyone except for literally everyone else but you guys.
Naduk, you do, like we said, maths comes after reality. Just because you're too dumb to be able to put it in 3 dimensions doesn't make it not 3-dimensional.
Again,
It just shows you inadequate to be able to describe reality. That's all it does.
Yeah, but just remember, according to you, if I wanted to paint a ball, I have to buy enough paint to fill the ball up.
No.
I'm a spray painter, dude. I have to actually work out how much paint I have to use to actually cover the amount of surface area. I work with surface area every day of my fucking life, idiot.
What is the surface area? Is that a 2-dimensional measure, or are you including volume in that?
Volume. I
Yeah,
work
you
with surface
include
area and it has volume. Yes, I have volume.
You fill up.
The amount.
Yeah.
The amount of substance has to cover the surface area, so it's volume.
The surface
Volumetrics. Volumetric. Okay. Let me put it this way. If I give
He
you
thinks you buy
if I give you-
painting sheets.
yeah, if I give
Please,
Naduk,
before I start fucking ranting and raving, just kick the twat out.
if I give you a door to spray, Naduk, please tell me how you're going to work out how much paint volume you have to paint that door without working out volume on the surface area, please.
Yeah, I
crickets.
just posted it in chat for you, for all to see.
I
This
asked
is literally
you
how
a
dumb you
question.
are.
I asked you a
I
question.
I just gave you the
I
answer.
asked you a question, Naduk.
I gave you the answer in chat. Learn to read.
No, you
Why
can
don't you
talk
read
to
out
me
what I
here.
wrote? Why don't you read out what I wrote?
If I give you a door to spray, please work out the surface area of how much volume I must spray it. Please, go ahead.
You're not spraying the volume. You're spraying the surface area. So I would measure.
He's
the-
just
Are you being a
doing.
fucking
He's
asshole,
doing
bro.
like
Maybe you need
5-year-old
to kick you out.
maths.
You're not contributing
Yeah,
anything to the
You're just a
conversation.
troll.
The cunt out, for fuck's sake.
Now, why don't you read what I posted in chat at 6:22?
Oh, come
No,
on,
fuck off.
NeedsHug.
Of course not,
Go
because
away
that's
with
what
your
you're doing
childish things, right? You were first of all, you came and asked us about wrapping a fucking mountain, and now you're trying to tell us about squares.
now. Why don't you read it then, Bev? Read it
I
for
know
everyone
what a
on the-
square is, dude.
I don't care what a square
It's
is.
a
Read what I wrote.
geometric function.
Do you know how I work it out, Naduk? Since I work with it every day of my
Luckily,
life.
you just posted something that agrees with
I
me.
wouldn't
Madam,
even get into a
madam.
conversation with the twat.
So now
Naduk?
Rocky is agreeing with me too. What are you gonna do about
Naduk, Naduk, you know the computer program on my computer mixing the paint. It actually has a formula where it works out the volume per surface area.
Now, why don't you read what I posted there, buddy?
Listen, I work in reality. I don't work in a mathematical deduced reality. There's a difference.
When you're at Home Depot in the paint department mixing your paint, you get the surface area
Dude,
per volume because you're filling
You're
up the
talking to a paint. You're talking to a qualified paint technician, not a flippin' Home Depot paint. person, okay?
It's irrelevant. You're still filling up the paint
It's
bucket.
it's
You know
not
how much
irrelevant.
surface area that paint
It's not
bucket
irrelevant.
carries.
I work with surface area every day, and I work volume on that surface area. So go and take your shit arguments to someone else who cares, because you are the most dumb person I've ever spoken to.
Discord troll. Discord
Yeah, this guy's a
troll.
troll.
Flat
This
earther.
guy's a troll.
How many other people do you normally troll about your flat earth stuff? How far do you normally get?
Yeah, I'll paste it again. This isn't flat earth. This is just like second grade geometry.
Flat earth. Flat earth stuff again.
You're gonna have to talk with Rocky too. He
Is
posted something that
it
he
about
did.
two-dimensional stuff?
Yeah, he wrote surface area is the sum of all areas of faces or surfaces on a 3D shape. Ooh, that's problems for you guys because it's only talking about the faces or the surfaces of that.
Faces is two-dimensional. I know geometry.
Yeah, it is two-dimensional.
A
Good
face,
job.
yeah, face is two-dimensional. You know,
Problem
the moon has a face, doesn't it?
Yeah, all objects have faces.
No, a clock has a face. That's a two-dimensional.
Very good with the literal interpretation.
Just geometry, mate. Just like the words you use.
Yeah, geometry. And in geometry,
Yeah, and what you
surface area is
imagine, what you
two-dimensional
imagine, and the words that you use are two completely different things. As you'll find out pretty soon, like you were already finding it out. A two-dimensional surface is just length times breadth. It's a plane surface, also known in reality as a flat. So if you think everything's 2D, you are a literal flat earther.
What's the volume of a Klein bottle, Bev?
Pardon?
What is the volume of a Klein bottle?
I don't know. You tell me. How big is it?
Doesn't matter how big it is.
What do you mean? Why? Yeah, for a volume, I think it does, doesn't it?
It's a trick question. Klein bottles don't have volume. It's a two-dimensional surface.
Show us it, please.
Don't know what a Klein bottle is?
Show us it, please. I'm sure
This should
there's
be
loads
good.
of people looking.
That's an oxymoron, by the way. A bottle would be volumetric.
Googling it right now.
NeedsHugs should be coming with us a nice little picture. Nobody else give me the picture. I don't want to, because that's what NeedsHug wants to do. He just wants to mention things and then get other people to do the work.
Yeah, but wouldn't a bottle anyway be volumetric, because that's what a bottle does? It contains a liquid.
Yeah. Do you not think you
So
could
to be
put
an
anything in
oxymoron.
there?
The fact that they call it a
Neduk?
Klein bottle is irrelevant to the fact that it's a
Neduk?
two-dimensional manifold.
Neduk, is that a reality object, or is that some math construct again that's not based on reality?
Yeah, you can make one. You can Google pictures of people that have created Klein bottles.
Yeah, you could put
So
you could
what's
put a
the
liquid in
volume
it,
then?
couldn't you?
Nope, doesn't have a volume.
You
'cause
could
it's
put a
two-dimensional.
liquid in it, couldn't you?
Really need to keep up.
You
No,
could
can't
fill
put
it up
liquid in
with a liquid,
Hey, hang on.
couldn't you?
How would you put liquid in?
I'm not gonna post the picture, but I've seen somebody holding one in their hand.
Yeah.
So
So it's a
volumetric.
three-dimensional object.
Uh-huh.
It is a
You can see it's
Very
three-dimensional.
good. But it's
Hey, really quick. You're saying that the
Fuck,
Klein
bro.
bottle is two-dimensional? Hold on a sec.
But I've seen-
The Klein
Well,
bottle
the
is
Klein
two-dimensional.
bottle is that it's a two-dimensional
Can
manifold.
you guys hear me?
You
Yeah,
guys can
yeah.
argue
I'll
that.
turn you up a bit. Go on. You were pretty
Hey,
loud.
NeedsHug, you're saying that the Klein bottle is a two-dimensional
That
thing
is the-
that people can build
that is
themselves?
by definition. Yes, it is by definition a two-dimensional
By
manifold.
definition.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right. So if I built a Klein bottle, right,
Uh-huh.
and I submerged it in water, what would happen to the level of the water? Would it rise according to Archimedes, or is it something else?
Obviously, it has mass, so it would however big it is, it would displace that amount of mass.
So can mass be two-dimensional?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. He said yes.
Is mass made of atoms, or what do you believe that mass is?
So, maybe I should be more clear. Mass,
Sure.
by inherently, you can have, without getting into photons, which technically are massless, but they have mass. the majority of things in reality
They're
have
massless mass. Did you just say massless mass?
He did, yes.
Which technically are massless, but they have mass. In reality, have
did.
mass. And they
He's
are
an
all
oxymoron man tonight.
So I'm
We're getting
asking
so much
you
sound
if,
bites out of
about-
this guy tonight.
I'm asking you specifically about this this bottle.
which technically are massless, but they have mass. What about
Would the water level rise if I submerged it?
Yes, because it has mass.
Because it has mass. Okay. So we're not talking about massless mass, right? We're talking about something with mass.
It's not an object that has a two-dimensional. It only is measured in surface area.
Wow.
There's
So
no
is
two-dimensional.
Is this bottle a mass that is two-dimensional?
Yes, it has no volume.
So it's a massless mass, like photons.
Just like
Wow.
you can just like you can submerge a triangle. You know those little things that you
Can
ring
you
at dinner
submerge a
time?
photon?
You can submerge a triangle underwater.
Can you submerge a photon? What happens if you shine a light in water? Does the water rise? Is the light
No, the
mass?
water heats
Or is
up,
it massless
it
mass?
absorbs the light.
so it won't rise up if I submerge the two-dimensional bottle in water?
It's a 2D surface of a 3D object. It will rise according to its mass.
So it's a massless mass that's not massless.
Not a massless mass.
I'm just trying to follow along what you're
dumb.
saying that it is.
Yeah,
I'm
that-
trying to follow
I'll be
your
very-
example. You used an example of a thing that is two-dimensional that has mass that I don't get that.
Clear.
Flatzoid's put one in as well that seems to have a liquid inside it. Like it's a container type thing.
I'll be very clear with
That's
you.
really
how
weird,
you
that.
Just like you can cut a paper triangle out of a piece of paper, you can, and it will technically have mass, and it will technically have length, breadth, and height, although the height is minuscule. It is still a 2D surface, just like you can have a motion.
Yeah, that's not 2D.
You can have a Klein bottle. The surface,
Okay.
which is all we're talking about, is two-dimensional. It has no volume.
Naduk, maybe you have some misunderstanding of what two-dimensional is, because everything you've been presenting is three-dimensional.
All objects are three-dimensional. The surfaces are the only thing I've ever said.
I think you're conflating a mathematical concept with reality and trying to merge the two to try to enhance your argument somehow, and it's not really working out for you.
Nope. That's why I asked you before. Naduk. What comes first, reality or the mathematical construct?
It's irrelevant. It's how we measure reality.
It's not irrelevant, because you're trying to tell us reality is wrong because your mathematical construct says this.
Reality is correct. You measure surface areas when you're measuring the surface of things. That's reality.
On a
So
3D
everything
object,
that-
so therefore three-dimensional.
Yeah, the object's 3D. Good job. The surface, which is surface area, which is a two-dimensional measurement, is not.
Just this guy's contradiction king.
Yeah.
And it
So I
comes
think,
down to
if I get this right, you think that every point, say along a surface, is like a 2D, right? So are you measuring it with like a point, or the whole total surface is 2D?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So how do you get 2D? I'm still trying to figure this out. Like, is there a specific point where you're measuring a 2D, or is the whole? So
You know
it's
what a two-dimensional
you're just
measurement
taking. So you're just taking a two-dimensional measurement of a point. I'm asking,
Point
or-
is not any dimensions.
or just a certain area of it, or do you think the whole thing is 3D, or 2D? I mean.
I got a question for you, NeedsHugs.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so you're holding a cube in your hand, right? You want to know the surface area of one face of the cube.
Hello.
Yeah. So you would measure the surface area of that one face. The surface that you just measured is
Hello.
a two-dimensional measurement.
That's a square.
Sure.
That's a two-dimensional shape. Yeah? Well, as we know, a circle is also a two-dimensional shape with a two-dimensional surface.
Surface of the cube that you measure.
Yep. But we're not talking about that. We're specifically talking about a sphere or objects in reality, not mathematical constructs of
I-
two-dimensional things and on two-dimensional
These are in
shapes.
reality, just like spheres are in reality, Bev. There's
Yeah,
no
okay, well,
special-
get away from a square and
Fine.
get into reality, right?
Why would I get away from a square when it accurately shows exactly what I'm talking about?
Do you think a square, can you have a square on the surface of a sphere?
Yes, you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can measure 490-degree angles on the surface of a sphere.
What's a square have? One of the properties is a square. Its opposite sides are parallel.
Yeah, we can
For
measure
for
490
right angles.
He's trying to get angles on a sphere.
Yeah, well, he can't have a square on a sphere. It just shows how little he understands of his imaginometry that he's using, that he thinks he's playing about with two-dimensional surfaces.
The fact that you're working on a sphere, which somehow and is irrelevant to reality, we use.
I was talking about the surface of a sphere. Surface of a sphere is
the thing that you keep clinging to.
a surface
because
of
you
constant
don't want
curvature.
to-
And as we know, there are no straight lines on the surface of a sphere. Zero, none, zilch.
That's fine.
So you can't have a square because a square has 4 straight sides.
Yep. And a triangle. And a triangle can't be greater than 180 degrees, or it's no longer a triangle.
Also not a problem in the sphere.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys use special geometry.
Flat earther.
Spherical geometry.
Flat
yeah.
earth geometry.
Special geometry, because you guys have to throw actual geometry away to have that special geometry of yours.
Works just fine, thanks.
No, it doesn't, because you cannot have an angle. Do you know what a vertex is?
Hang on, Flatside. Why is it called non-Euclidean geometry?
Because it is a sphere. It doesn't comport with standard reality rules.
We-
You have straight lines. You have great circles.
Great. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that.
It's fine. The measurements still work. This isn't obfuscation. Everyone but you guys knows this.
Do we live in Euclidean 3 space?
We live in Euclidean 3 space on a non-Euclidean surface.
What?
That's the best clip ever. You gotta clip that one.
Yeah.
We'll let you take it. Take a mulligan.
We live in Euclidean 3 space on a non-Euclidean surface.
Yeah.
Not just comedy gold. No, thanks.
Wait, no, give him a shot. Do you want to take a mulligan on that one?
Rocky, what did I say that
No,
was?
No, either repeat it or say I'm taking a mulligan and
How
explain it.
about you tell me what was incorrect?
No, we already got it. I'm fine
Yeah.
with what we got.
Yeah.
You want to take a mulligan?
So it wasn't inaccurate what I said then. We live in Euclidean 3 space on a non-Euclidean surface.
Okay, so you're saying it's accurate.
Brilliant.
I am saying it's accurate unless you want to point out where I was wrong.
brother. Hey, thank you again. Once again,
Where was I wrong?
my drive home has been great. Thanks to you.
Where was I wrong?
Point out where I was wrong because I wasn't wrong.
We live in Euclidean 3 space,
But the surface
but
is
the surface is non-Euclidean.
When
You're
you
fucked
said we
up.
live in Euclidean 3 space, that's the only thing you said right in that statement.
Unfortunately for you, spheres use non-Euclidean geometry, so.
Naduk, this is the same as me saying, I'm South African, but I'm not South African.
Can I just put him right on that as well? A sphere is a Euclidean shape, right? It's one of the solid shapes in Euclidean. Euclidean solid geometry. A sphere is one of those shapes.
Correct.
Distance measurements on the surface of the sphere use non-Euclidean geometry. This is well known.
No, you would use spherical trigonometry, which is again an extension of Euclidean geometry. If you knew anything about it, you should know that.
Naduk doesn't seem to know what a vertex is. That's for sure.
And he wants to measure Euclidean 3 space using non-Euclidean geometry.
This has been the best education ever. Thanks, Naduk.
This is unbelievable.
I just posted a reference for you because you guys clearly are the dumbest bricks in the room.
No, you haven't. You've posted something that you've typed and then screenshotted and posted here.
Spherical geometry and hyperbolic geometry. Yeah, we know. We already know that.
Geometry and then you can eat those words.
Yeah. Well, you do realise that hyperbolic might be a true geometry, but spherical geometry, you surely know that spherical geometry is not a true geometry, right?
It is what we use.
It can't be a true geometry because it's based on the foundations of a Euclidean shape to start off with.
Nito, can you demonstrate a non-Euclidean?
You don't like it, that's your problem.
Can you demonstrate non-Euclidean in reality?
Yeah, sure.
Not describing a concept. I'm talking about like a, any.
Grab a basketball and measure any point on it. The two closest points on it are a non-Euclidean measurement.
You do know hyperbolic geometry is pseudo-spherical surfaces, correct? Means it's pseudo.
We're talking
I'm sorry,
about
real quick.
It
real
is.
Quick.
It's non-Euclidean.
Real quick. The basketball is in 3D space, correct?
Nope, he's gone.
Oh, really?
Did he leave?
Yep,
that was tough.
Did that break him? I'm sorry.
Mobius, Mobius.
But
that was well done, Mobius.
Do you think he understands it? That was really good. But do you think he understands hyperbolic geometry is pseudo-spherical geometry? In other words, it doesn't exist.
Well, either the spherical geometry in reality, it's a mathematical concept.
Yeah, spherical geometry is on Euclidean.
It's pseudo-spherical, meaning they take it. It's not based on reality. That's all. They're literally just taking a construct to match what they want it to be, where it's not.
Right.
No, it's just that we'll get rid of one of the postulates, the parallel postulate, and let's just go see what happens.
Yeah, they just change the parallels to curves.
Well, no, because they have asymptotes, don't they? It's all weird, freaky concepts.
Tonight has been so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I better go sleep. It's 1:45. I've got to wake up for work soon.
well, the cat's away. Hey, Flatsoid.
Well, that was fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I think you should make some short clips of this of tonight.
Yeah.
Like your own numpty clip kind of thing. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Cool.
Nice one, Flatsoid.
No, nice to you guys. It's brilliant.
Catch you later.
Cheers, guys. See you tomorrow.
That was a lot of fun. I couldn't be on here that much, but I was laughing so hard. But that last one is awesome, man. That was just...
Yeah, I rather enjoyed the last minutes, but I don't even think he deserved much of our attention. We could have had more. I get it.
That was good training. That shows how far we've come, like Rakia said. Right, like the difference between what we do now when we're talking to him, and like you could tell he was trying to get you riled up.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.